One. Here we go. Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic Us Non-Classic. This is episode number 31, 79, and Doubleshot number 3073. Got a finale for a run for one character and a miniseries. First up we have is Harley Quinn by Tini Howard, Volume 3, Clown About Town. This is the final trade of the collection from her run. Issues 38 to 43. Yes, and I did check. This is the end of her run. I'm like, wow, this is shorter than her Catwoman run. And can you believe she started this one with issue 28? Yeah, 28 she started with this run, and ending with issue 43, which means this run lasted for only 16 issues. You're like, what? 16? Why the heck it lasted for 16? I have no idea. Because she left the book, and then the person who placed her is some unknown writer I've never heard of before. So, of course, Tini Howard is the obvious writer here. The one who writes backup stories are Ted Bennett, Rael Stein, Erica Henderson, Grace Ellis, Gretchen Flecker Martin, Jeannie Starr, Alexis Gosaro. The front cover artist, the front stories, is Sweeney Boo and Nacha Bastos. The backup story artist, Ted, basically the first the same way before. Hannah Templar, Denai, Marcel Del Vargas, and Ricardo Ferrari. Cover art is Sweeney Boo. We started off with Harley in bed with Ivy, where she's woken up by her hyenas. By the way, the same artist who did the Gotham City Sirens book, which I did recently hear they could do a follow-up to that one. Okay, cool. Then we see her just walking her dogs, look like she's bathing and brushing her teeth and shaving her legs. Makeup, give a kiss to her girlfriend goodbye. And of course she goes out to get some cough, but basically go back to see her teacher. And then of course apparently it's her birthday. Yep, talking to Barney, her little squirrel, who... This is something, though, because this first time the squirrel has popped up in this book, because this creature was a creation of Jimmy Palmer and Amanda Connor, which had disappeared once they left the book. Because, apparently, Christos Gage decided to drop the gang of Harleys, for reasons not even in this book, for some reason. Because in the case of the previous two volumes of Harley Quinn, that felt like was a different universe. This is definitely more in continuity, this one. So you have Harley and Ivy just hopping about, have a lot of fun, beat some bad guys up. And of course, pay a visit by somebody who cosplaying, and we see... They, for some reason, Harley putting on her classic Paul Dini outfit for some reason. Excuse me. And then she's here with two other people here. Looks like an ultra version of Harley. And some black hair woman. I don't really know who this is. And then... they work together, and then they just disappear. Yep, so... yeah, then Mr. Freeze just randomly shows up, and for some reason he's wearing the outfit similar to we wore in the animated series, but not exact because they have the little collar thing. So... teaching lessons. Then we have a story where Kite Man is here, who in the Harley Quinn animated series, he tried to marry Poison Ivy for some weird reason. And the whole story is dealing with, well, him. And that's the backup story. And then we actually have continuation stuff with Mr. Freeze, Ivy. And then for some reason, Tini Howard threw in Maxie Zeus, a character who I think prior to this book was last seen in Batman Eternal, who is back normal now, despite the fact when he last appeared, he was possessed by Deacon Blackfire. Excuse me. Oh yeah, and also they're hiding, and then also Batman's in the story too. We have one point where he's touching her, he's like right above her chest, but at least not grabbing her breast, which thank God, basically, he's not that much a pervert. More stuff, Harley class. And then for some reason, they decided to have Tim Drake pop up in the book. Yes, Tim Drake is here. For reasons. Just to show up here. And then we have this backup story here where we have Harley and Ivy in some sci-fi escapade where Ivy's an alien. A beautiful alien woman. And also the Green Lanterns show up. It's weird. Then we have Harley changing, and then for some weird reason, I'm not sure why, she puts on this. Then we have this woman who puts on a dress, who's very icy. It could be North. Oh, it's a woman. Her name is Hermada, and she has a ship on her head. The guy in it too is basically some guy cosplaying. Yep. Yeah, of course, you have Harley hanging out with Maxie Zeus for reasons. Batman appears in a flashback. Like I said, really weird. Harley is briefly arrested. Also have Nora here. Funny bit of Cascales of Justice, so in class. And then we happen to have a homage to the only place to dying with this cover, where Robin gets knocked out, and for some reason they replaced Tim's costume with the current costume, because the original cover for this one, which I think is from Batman, I think it was 441, I think it was. Yes, where Tim was actually wearing Dick's costume. And then we have Harley punching her. And we have Harley get punched by Ivy, though apparently she bails out. There's Ivy, it's some cop. And gets a fight with the boy Wonder. Well, more like Teenage Wonder. And more stuff with Maxie Zeus. And then we have Harley Quinn, The Cave, where it's a story drawn by Don Nee. It is basically Harley and Ivy in a... looks like a fairy tale story? Yeah, looks like a fairy tale story. And then for issue number 42, the penultimate issue, where I think she rested. By the way, no multiverse stuff in here. They kind of stopped that the last set of issues. Yeah. They have Mr. Freeze basically to appear again here too. You have Harley and Ivy look like Harley. They go into like a version of like a riot, like a small town. And then we come to the final issue here, where like Lady Cork is in the cover. Is she appear in the issue? Well. Then, we have a judge who basically has got a rubber ducky as a mallet. Everybody's embarrassed by it. We see a two-faced Maxie Zeus, Captain Carrot, Lady Quark, she appears in the book, Two-Face, bunch of characters. Find Mr. Free stuff. Yep. And she kind of disappears and does her own thing, and it's like free, charge dismissed. What was the point of that? Then we have a Harley Barbarian story, which I love the artwork for this story, which is awesome. I love the fact that the Barbarian for her gives her a figure, which she looks awesome in this. Yeah, really cool stuff here. I like the Barbarian story here. But that's kind of it here. Okay, so you finish reading this book after reading 3 straight volumes of this run, and you're like, what was the point of this run? Yeah. By the way, I like the arc in here. I get the arc in 9. The stories feels like basically a bunch of stuff just happen here. Give it an 8.5 out of 10. Excuse me. Final thoughts on Tini Howard's run for Harley Quinn. I love Stan Phillips' run. I think it was absolutely amazing. It felt like a cohesive story, the whole thing. This felt like a jumbled mess. It's like, what was the actual story here? Like, you read throughout these 16 issues, it feels like a bunch of random stories. And having backup stories for Harley Quinn, why? It makes no frickin' sense at all. I think the succeeding writer did drop the backup feature thing because I didn't think it was necessary. I mean, it was fine with the one story as it is. I did like the previous line where it felt as though like we actually the character Janet from the Poison Ivy series up here, so you could kind of say the Harley Quinn issues took place between some issues of Poison Ivy. This book particularly, no, not particularly. Didn't feel like it all. No, it just felt like Mr. Free stuff. And then what was the point of the... By the way, they do in fact drop the whole case thing, which started kind of with the start of this run. But in the case Tini Howard for Catwoman, that felt like that was very consistent the whole book. This was a jumbled mess. So it begs the question, why the heck did she take the writing of this book? I have no idea. And also, my number one biggest gripe with this book, no appearance on Punchline. Nope. For some weird reason, DC does not want to have Punchline appear in a Harley Quinn book. And the thing is, they've only met twice in the whole existence of Punchline. When they fought in Joker War. Then you'll see each other again into the Gotham City Sirens series, the second volume for it, and that's been it. For some weird reason, that Tini Howard thought, no, let's not put Punchline Harley Quinn. Let's put in a Catwoman for some weird reason. Also, you read this like, who are Harley's supporting characters? Because you read these issues, you're like, who's a recurring character besides Harley? Okay, if Ivy here, fine, but she's got her own solo book. Tim Drake randomly pops up in this book. Like, Stephen Phillips had a plan for her run. This felt like just... Catwoman had at least a supporting cast. Like, okay, you don't want to give Harley a supporting cast for reasons. Like, I get that T. Howard wants to do her own thing, but I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get why that Harley couldn't have her own supporting cast. I mean, do we necessarily have Ivy appear in this book? It's fine. I don't have Ivy appearing here. My overall problem is the fact that Harley does not have a supporting cast. You read all 16 of these issues, like, who is the supporting cast? Besides Ivy? Nobody. There's no recurring characters in this book. Lady Quark pops up for like 3 issues of this whole book. And the fact that twice in this one they had to take a hiatus. Twice. First for Night Terrors, and then a second time for Gotham City Sirens. Instead of, I don't know, you would have been a better idea than just reviving Gotham City Sirens? Why not just have Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, and Catwoman do a crossover? Why not just call Gotham City Sirens all over again? Do we need to hear about the Gotham City Sirens book? No. It was necessary. At least for Catwoman has a pretty idea what she's doing. I'm not sure about this new writer for Harley Quinn because as soon as I saw this new writer, I'm like, who? Who is this person? Yeah. Because I don't know who the heck this person is to replace Tini Howard. She's not a terrible writer. It's just basically like, what she need for this book? Not really. I would have kept Sydney Phillips, but at least she had a freaking plan. Yep. So yeah, this particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Next up, I'm the evil lord of it. Oh, hold on. Before I go. But then just, yeah. Like, oh crap, I forgot one. Next up, basically, we have is Star Wars Mace Windu Jedi Republic. Collecting the first Mace Windu miniseries. Written by Matt Owens. Artwork by Dennis Cohen. With Eric Salinger on the art of issue 4. Now, the last book took place, I think, prior to episode 1. This feels like, according to this, is like Mace Windu. It's time of war. It's plot behind the massive droid and Joseph and yeah. So this is basically between episodes 2 and 3. This is basically what he was up to during the main war itself. We see a flashback battle. This is where he basically decapitated Jango Fett, which of course they did follow with it in the Clone Wars TV show where Boba tried to get his revenge on, but didn't go anywhere. So basically, it's all about strategizing and just kind of basically what he's up to during the action main conflict. At least he's got an apprentice here. He has like a young version of him. So he just basically fights droids and deals with a bounty here. You could say this is just a story for him set during the Clone War. That's kind of what this book is. But it is quite interesting for a book. I'm going to give the book roughly a 9 out of 10. And now that's it. So, I'm Intercontinental Empire. Bye.